So what happens is there are some partners whom we have done a kind of revenue sharing
Mm-hmm.
where they have some connection in the industry. They've been there from industry from 20-25 years, and we met them during some of the events that we have attended.
Mm-hmm.
So they are from the same industry, and then they help us in connecting to the people whom they knew, some of the companies they knew, and that's how it works.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the B2B SaaS Podcast. I'm your host, Upendra Verma, and today we have Vaibhav Tiwari with us. Vaibhav is the CEO of a company called BuildPan. Hey, Vaibhav, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pendra. Thank you for having me here.
All right, Vaibhav. So let's try to understand about your company, right? So what does your company do and why customers pay you money?
Sure. So we are a CI/CD platform. It's a continuous integration and continuous deployment platform. So while working, I'll take a minute over
Sure.
here. So while working for various mobile application development companies, I worked for approximately 10-12 years before starting BuildPan. So we realized that the life cycle of mobile application development is quite manual. And if we can automate this process, then we can actually improve the developers' productivity, their efficiency, and decrease the time that is required to complete the whole life cycle. And there are many products which are there in the market, but not a single product which can solve all the problems at one single place. So that is how we started BuildPan. So it's a continuous integration and continuous deployment platform where developers. So we also believe that developers. I mean, I've seen one of the Steve Ballmer's interview where he said that developers are the real world heroes, but it's like the salespeople take all the credibility because they say this is how our product has been. So we have created a product for developers by developers where they can make their application and deploy it directly on the app store. So briefly, it's a continuous integration and deployment platform where you can integrate your code, where you can merge your code, you can test your code by yourself and deploy directly on the app store.
Got it. All right. So I want to deep dive into that, right? But before that, I want to understand who you're trying to sell this particular product to as of today, right? Can you talk about, your customer base as of today? Like who are these customers, right? How big they are? Maybe a couple of examples just to get a sense of that.
So, briefly, every mobile application development company or every mobile application developer is a potential customer because what happens is, normally mobile application is made into batches, or usually companies follow agile methodology where people sitting at different locations they work on the same project. So, with BuildPan, you can use BuildPan to merge this code, you can use BuildPan to test this code, and you can use BuildPan to deploy directly on the App Store. So every developer who is creating an application can use BuildPan for developing the app.
Got it. And approximately how many customers do you have on your platform as of today?
So I'll again take one more minute over
Sure.
here.
Yeah.
So when we started BuildPan, it was December 2020 when we became full fledged and we got two customers. And so when we started the product, we wanted lot of. So whenever you start a product, you want to check how your product is performing, how your baby is working, and unfortunately, COVID hit during that time, and normally we were speaking to a lot of people, lot of potential customers, but people were trying to avoid to take the new solution, even though we were offering the platform for free. But normally, people were trying to avoid to take the risk. So during that time, our Prime Minister has announced Swarojgar a Yojana where he self-dependent India, self-dependent Bharat. So we were speaking to a lot of freelancers during that time, and they said that we wanted to utilize a product like this, but there is no platform which is there in the market which is offering it for very few bucks. And freelancing industry works on very thin margins. So we thought that let's release a product. We offer them for $5. So any freelancer who want to utilize BuildPan can do it in just $5 for 100 minutes of platform usage. So we have two funnels: enterprises, so any mobile application development company or any individual app, mobile application development company or any individual app can use BuildPan, and freelancers.
Yeah.
So we are working with approximately 50 enterprise clients across India, Japan, US, Hong Kong, and Philippines. And we have approximately 25,000 plus freelancers over the globe who are using BuildPan platform right now.
Got it. And
So
yeah,
COVID actually happened to be a blessing in disguise where
yeah,
we got a lot of freelancers on the board. We got a lot of feedback
yeah.
and
Yeah, we will come back to it, right? Looks like a very interesting story, right? I mean, 25,000 numbers, that's pretty good number, right? So we'll come back to that in a while. So we just want to close the conversation here around metrics, right? So it's like, how big are these deals, right? So you talk, and let's just focus on these enterprise deals for a while now, right? And how big are these deals, right? Are these $1,000 deals, $10,000 deals? Because I could imagine that a big company, right? Every potential mobile application developer is a user of yours, right? So like, uh, uh, as of today, right, based on your customer base, right, how big these deals are?
so our usually with enterprise, it's a custom made model where what we have done is we have given them a custom plan depending on the number of team members.
Mhm.
So typically, a team of 4 members can do it in just $500 for 500 approximately minutes, and it goes till 4,000, 5,000 US dollars. So depending on the number of team members, it's customized.
Right. So I'm just trying to understand, right? On an average, how big are these deals, right? Is it $50,000? Is it $100,000? Or is it $10,000? Just a approximate number.
So, I mean, on an average, it goes from somewhere around from 1,500 US dollars
Is
per
this
month.
per month? Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Yeah. So like approximately, can you reveal how much revenue were you doing last month? Something
Okay.
like that.
So we were doing close to 150K US dollars last month.
Awesome. That's pretty good. All right. So yeah, and just to complete the conversation here, right? So like, how many enterprise customers you had like a year ago? I'm talking about January 2021, something like that.
We had approximately 36. Last year we have added 14.
Mhm.
So sales cycle is little long. It takes approximately one and a half, even 2 to 3 months for a customer to close down. We are trying to narrow that thing. But I mean, what the process that we follow is we try to give them some free amount of credits so that people can use it, and then they can start utilizing the platform. So that is how it
Yeah.
works.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So now let's go back to that, December 2020, right? So when you just started, right? So just talk about, that initial stage. So like, how did you grow from zero to 25,000 users, all of these freelancers, right? I mean, it's hard, right? So what really worked for you? What happened? Just talk us through that journey.
It was really interesting. So what we have done is we thought that let's just roll out the product for free. So anyone who want to utilize BuildPan can do it for free for first 100 minutes, and then they need to pay. So we got a lot of free registrations. I believe in the very first month we got approximately 2 or 2,000 registrations in the very first 10 or 20 days. But we've seen that there is no repeat customer.
Mhm.
Then at the back end, when we tried to check, there were a lot of people who what they were doing is they were not connecting their GitHub account. They were making
Okay.
another email ID and were checking. Then we have given them. And then we kept a check at the back end that you have to connect your GitHub account, and one GitHub account can only avail that free amount of minutes. But yeah, I mean, you learn from the mistakes that you do. But it was really interesting. Then we get lot of word of mouth. We get lot of publicity through word of mouth. Then we have a lot of people. Our sales team is very much active on lot of communities, product hunt communities, where we try to resolve the problems for mobile
Sure. So
applications.
I want to specifically ask you, right? So December 2020, you've got a bunch of freelancers, right? So what is that one thing that really worked for you at that stage? I mean, obviously you were offering your product for free, but how did all of these potential users, started knowing that? What channel really worked? Did you launch it anywhere? What was that one big thing that worked for you then?
For social media marketing worked for us. LinkedIn marketing worked for us. So that was the
So what were
time
you
when
doing exactly there? So how are you reaching out to these users?
Uh, as I mentioned that we used to post about our product that this is the problem that we've been solving, and we are doing it just for free.
Mhm.
I mean, for first 100 minutes, it's completely free. Then yeah, I mean, we were just mentioning it that it's
Yeah.
completely you. All you have to do is you have to come and register on us. So we've done some paid campaigns as well,
Mhm.
and then we were trying to reach people through a lot of communities, as I mentioned that
Yeah.
where these freelancers hang out, so Slack communities, product hunt communities. So that is what the focus has been. And till date now we got 25,000 freelancers.
All right. So I just want to sort of close this conversation, but I want to quantify it, right? So where did a big chunk of this sort of folks came from? Was it through these paid ads? Was it through, these communities? Like, I mean, if you want to sort of pick one, what would you
Mostly
pick?
from communities. Mostly from communities.
And you were doing this manually, right? So your team was trying to go through this community, posting all about these new features, all of
That's
those
right.
things, right? And since you were
That's
free, people really sort of attracted to your product, right? Something
that's
like that.
correct. That's correct.
Got it. All right. So now let's move on to your, business B2B aspect of it, right? So I want to talk about these enterprise customers, right? So you mentioned you had two customers during December 2020, right? So just talk about that 0 to 1 journey. Where did you find these customers, right? How did you manage to convince them? Because you were just starting new, right? So what was that journey there?
So I mean, and we started BuildPan back in I mean so I and my co-founder Viren, we were speaking that this is what is been hitting and this is what the problem has been. So if we can make a product, then there was a lot of pivoting which happened, that no, this should be included, this should not be included, this should be there, this should not be there. The products which are there, what all the USPs can be there. So we knew some people from the industry already. So
Mhm.
since I had worked for 10
Yeah.
years, he had worked for 15, 16 years. So there were some people that we already knew. And when we started BuildPan full fledged, we pitched to them that this is what we are building, and it would be interesting if you could just try it out.
Mhm.
So they tried it out and they liked it very much, and we got the very first customer on the December 1st.
Makes
December.
sense. Got it. Now I want you to come back to last 12 months, right? So you mentioned you've grown by 14 odd customers in the past 12 months, right? So where did strictly from a top of funnel perspective, right? So where exactly are these customers finding you? What growth channels have been working for you like today?
So for specifically, most specifically focus mostly for the enterprise side.
Mhm.
The reason being, it's a big ticket size,
Yeah.
and 70% of the funds, 70% of the revenue comes from the enterprise side. So what happens is we have some GTM partners. They are based in Hong Kong, they are based in US, and they help us in generating leads. Then we have a outbound, inbound marketing team who helps us in cold calling and lead generation as well. Though that part is not working that it used to be previously, but still, we get contacts from LinkedIn from our GTM partners, and mostly our team works like this, and then
So
we
so when you
give
say
them.
GTM partners, are these lead generation agencies, something like that, or
No, not exactly. So what happens is, there are some partners whom we have done a kind of revenue sharing,
Mhm.
where they have some connection in the industry. They've been there from industry from 20, 25 years, and we met them during some of the events that we have attended.
Mhm.
So they are from the same industry, and then they help us in connecting to the people whom they knew, some of the companies they knew, and that's how it works.
So these are sort of your affiliates, right? So they bring you, they send people to you, and then you sort of end up converting those leads,
That's
right?
right.
Got it. And that's is that how most of your top of funnel works as of today? Primarily through
Mostly,
this. Got it.
mostly
And then in terms of revenue sharing, is it a one-time thing or are you going to pay them forever till the customer sticks?
it's a contact.
One-time thing. Got it. All right. So now I want to sort of move on to the bottom of funnel, right? So I mean, closing 20,000, like ACV is around 15, $20,000 a year, right? So like once a customer discovers you, right? Once a channel partner pushes a customer towards you, right? What exactly happens? How does your sales team engage with them? You talked about 2 months sales cycle. What happens during those 2 months? So just can you explain the process?
So we try to give them some free amount of credits. I mean, the process is very simple. We try to understand that where exactly are they lacking? Are they using any kind of product? Are they using any kind of competitor? We try to analyze that before giving them the demo. If they are, on the very first call, what is the issue that they're facing with that product? What is the normal process which is the time taking, the number of team members which will be using the product, and the demo is customized as per that. And then we try to give them some free amount of credits, then the sales team come into the picture. They take 1 2 days to try to adapt that what is the issue that they've been facing with the using in using that particular product. Is there something that they require? There are some things which can be customized as well in our product as per the customer needs, and if they need it, we can do it. and then normally the follow-up process, that how things
Yeah.
will working, who is the key decision maker, and that's how it works.
So it's a typical enterprise sales cycle, right? So you got to pitch to a bunch of people and then sort of convince them and then onboard, right? Got it. So just yeah, one question here, right? So how does the conversion look like? Since you've got this one top of funnel channel, right? So like on an average, how many people do you end up converting, right? For every 10 leads that are coming in, how does that conversion
Uh,
look like?
so I mean, uh, it's again one to
Yeah, it,
four margin
y-
that I mean a salespeople
yeah,
used to take. But I mean, of all the people that we give demo, it's approximately 50%, close to 50%. The reason being, this is something which the CI/CD pipeline specifically for mobile, not many people are using it.
yeah,
And we what we have done with our product is we have kept the dashboard to be pretty simple and easy.
hmm,
We have not put it complex things, and it helps customers, developers to use that product. So that is one of the competitive advantage or competitive edge that we have over our competitors, and it
yeah.
works for us.
Yeah, I mean, your numbers show that, right? So, yeah, so like, how does the churn look like? I mean, I know it's still early days. I mean, it's just been 24 odd months, right? But like, do you see any active churn, people churning out? Is like, how does those metrics look like as of today?
Fortunately for us, there have been only two companies who have churned out. They were startups
Mhm.
and they couldn't survive the COVID wave.
Got it.
Every customer we have started from the very first day is still working with us. In fact, there are some people who have increased the number of team members. So
Yeah,
that we've been on the positive side on that side. It's only been 3 years. Let's see how things
yeah.
goes.
But I mean,
So
that's pretty awesome, right? So, like, and just
that's
talk
right.
about the team, right? How big your team is as of today, like, and how many in engineering versus how many in GTM?
So we have a team of 25 people, including all the founders. Mostly are from the development side. There are some from the finance, and the marketing side consists of 4 people. Uh,
Okay.
I also been active partner into marketing and sales, so
Hmm.
including me would be
So
5.
these four folks are actually sort of doing those demo calls and closing all of these, deals, right? Is that what you're saying? That's awesome.
So I've been a little active on the demos as well.
Yeah.
If there is something which is related to technical something, then we include the other co-founder. But mostly it's the sales people, these
Got
4 people.
right. And have you raised any external funding so far?
We've raised 3 times. So uh, we've raised in January 2021. I mean, we started in December. We raised in January. It was an angel come friends and family round.
Mm,
So during that time, we raised close to 100K. And then we raised in June, July from SOSV and Artisan. I'm not sure whether you've heard about that. So they are, I mean, venture capitalist and accelerators.
mm,
So it's similar to Y Combinator and Sequoia.
mhm,
Last year we closed 2 million US dollars
mhm.
from the same investors.
Got it. And where are you spending all of this money? And is it on engineers or where exactly is it going?
Mostly it's on the tech side. So there are some new cool features that the team is
Got it.
working upon. So that's where mostly the spend is on.
All right, Baba. So one last question, right? What's the vision here? Where do you see your company going in, like, say, 5 years down the line? What's going to happen?
So there are some really cool things that the team is working upon. We really have a cool vision. I mean, the biggest competitor that I see in the market, specifically related to mobile, is Bitrise. They've recently raised Series E round,
Yeah.
and it's really far. So we've only raised pre-Series A round, and we are close to profitable. I mean, not exactly. We are close to break even, and with the features we are counting in, I'm looking. I mean, we can be a unicorn, but
Yeah.
eventually it will take some time. The
Yeah.
reason being the tech
Sure, sure.
product
I asked
grows
your
slowly.
vision, right? So your vision is to become a unicorn in the next 5 years. That makes a lot of sense. All right, Baba. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. It was a wonderful conversation. Hope you scale your company to much, much greater heights.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you for having me, and it was really nice speaking to you as well.